Luka Vandross is another player that people are starting to understand. Like, man, that ain't it, dog. Like, we was fooled. Like, a top 3 player, supposed don't play defense, can't play defense, won't play defense. How so? So there's a list of people just taking turns just wearing Luka out, man. It's Nick Van Exel, former Laker, Michelle Beadle, Tim Haberstraw, the guy who tried to say Michael Jordan's defensive player of the year was fake because they fabricated his steals. I thought that was funny. PJ Tucker and Carmelo Anthony. Let's hear what they said, man. It's just a group of people just saying what I've been saying for 3-4 years, 3 to 4 years, dog. I've been saying this. Now people are starting to see the light.
I need you. What I do need you to do though, I need you to care about the other side as much as we care about this side, and helping me help you be able to get through these coverages and knowing where you're sending people. Because you're not gonna guard. We're gonna put you on. He gonna put him on the corner man, right? He gonna guard me. He gonna guard, the 4th, 5th option on the starting lineup. They're gonna put him in those positions. But what I'm saying is, when you get in those situations, I need you to box out because you got on that other guy. Now you on the guy that's gonna work hard to get rebounds.
Run the margins.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Run the margins.
I need you to do the little things to be able to get the stops to put us in position to win, and not be in coverage and throw your hands up and all the mannerisms like you don't give a shit. Because now I feel away.
Yeah. You know the difference though is that, to your point, he's on the 4th, 5th guy on the court. 3rd, 4th, 5th guy on the court. He's guarding.
Yes.
Nowadays, the 3rd, 4th guy is getting to it too.
Yeah.
So when they see Luka, its eyes is big. The 4th guy now, you ain't got to worry about the main guy. You worry about the 4th guy. When it's swing, boom, 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 he get it on a broken play. He's looking to, I got one.
Attacking, because everybody know.
I got one, right?
Everybody know.
And this is where the disconnect and not having real vets on your team.
So that's Carmelo Anthony. That's PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker is a guy that's known for defense and hustle and all that stuff. That's how he stayed in the league and hitting the corner 3. So, he's not talking from a place of not understanding what the assignment is. And he's saying, look, dog, I get it, man. You can't move your feet that well, but dog, like, when you don't get a call, so put it this way. If we know that we're at the deficit because we got you on the defensive end as a liability, and you're a liability, and teams are trying to pick on you, you got to understand that we're working so much harder. Like, first of all, we got to score so many points to make up for what we about to give up on the defensive end, trying to protect you. And we're going to be putting out so much effort trying to cover 5 guys with 4 guys because you're almost not even there. Can you help us out by not pouting for a foul call and not running back up court on defense? Like, if you already a liability on defense when you're trying, you cannot afford to yell at the referees and scream and beg for a call while a fast break is going down off the missed shot that you took or the turnover that you just threw. You cannot be the person that is hurting us on defense and then also purposely hurting us in transition because you want to argue with the refs and have that type of attitude and scream at your bench and do all that stuff, man. And that nonsense, man, it's insane, dog. You can't be that guy. And that's what PJ Tucker and Melo is talking about. Give me some effort. At least nip it in the bud of those type of plays. Right? The complaining and the fact, like everybody sees it, dog, and he does it every single game. Every single game. Here's Tim Haberstraw.
Is this a Luka defensive problem or a Lakers defensive problem?
I think it's all of the above. I think Luka Doncic at this point in his career needs to step up more defensively. He doesn't need to be a two-way guy out there, but here's a stat for you is that in the NBA, we have these 3D camera tracking cameras all over the player tracking cameras all over the arenas. And what we can see is that Luka Doncic is the second least mobile player in the NBA on defense. Second least. The only other guy who covers less ground per minute on the floor defensively is James Harden. But if you look around the list of guys who do not move a lot defensively, a lot of them are hid on three-point shooters in the corner like Luka Doncic is. They are guys who are high usage, deep into their 30s guys like James Harden, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. Luka Doncic is not deep into his 30s, and yet he is one of the least mobile, least active defenders in the NBA. And a lot of that is because they ask him to do so much offensively, and he's not a guy who's going to be guarding the opposing best player. That's why they have Marcus Smart on the team. That's why they have Vando on the team. That's why they have Jake LaRavia on the team. They have 3-and-D guys who are not shooting well from three and are not playing well defensively. So they're not 3-and-D guys currently. And that's why I think it's a two-pronged problem, is that the Lakers are built to win a championship today in theory because they got LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic on the team. But the supporting cast for Luka Doncic is abysmal. Marcus Smart.
So he said that they got cameras that track player movement. And he said that of all the players on defense, Luka is the player that moves the least and covers the least amount of ground. So they really are putting him in the corner on the worst player and praying to God that he don't have to defend the ball or defend somebody trying to get to the hole. Let's pray to God they don't call Luka up for this screen. Go hide in the corner. Just stay over there. You can grab all the rebounds, man, but please stay away from the ball, dog. You just go give up a dunk or a layup. Right? That's how bad it is. And he said Luka covers the least amount of ground. And he said for the guys that are in the vicinity of Luka, as far as how much ground they cover, it's guys that are in their late 30s, Harden, LeBron, KD. 37, 40-year-old, 35-year-old. Like, these are old dudes. Luka ain't even 30 yet. Think about how he about to be in his 30s and his mid-30s when it comes to defense and player movement. That is insane.
Unpopular opinion. What are you planning on?
Okay. I got one for you. It's very unpopular.
Mm-hmm.
It could get me killed. That's how unpopular this is. I know that's a tease, ladies and gentlemen. Luka Doncic is highly overrated.
Whoa.
There, I said it.
What?
Drink up, ladies and gentlemen.
Explain this one.
So here's my issue with the Doncic conversation. I can't get on a trend, a bandwagon, a way of thinking that endorses and celebrates Luka Doncic as one of the greatest to ever do it, top this, top that, when he only technically is playing half of this great game of basketball that we so very much love. Because I don't think that makes actual sense. Like, yeah, is he an offensive great machine? Is he fun to watch? Sometimes, sure. Does everyone want to play with him? No. But why is that? Oh, I wonder. He's a huge liability for half of a game. You cannot be the best or one of the best to do anything if you did half the job. And so I'm starting to I've thought this for a really long time. And I've finally started asking like players and stuff like, why can't he just play defense? What are we talking? Can we do the effort? Can we pretend? Can we do anything? Why do we just give him an excuse that he just doesn't do it?
Because he's so good at offense, he doesn't have to.
Okay, well, guess what? Guess what Michelle from Texas says? He'll never get a ring.
She said, my hot take is Luka is overrated. And she's right, because if you got him rated as a top 3 player in the league, that's way too high. He's overrated. If you got him rated as like I heard people say he's the best Mav that Mavericks ever had, he's over Dirk. He's overrated. He's not that. He's not that as a player, right? Now, if you want to rate players by what they do with the ball on offense, because I can't even say offense because Luka does absolutely nothing without the ball on offense. You get what I'm saying? Like when Reggie Miller didn't have the ball, threat. When Steph don't have the ball, threat. When Rip Hamilton don't have the ball, threat. When Kyle Korver don't have a ball, threat. When Michael Jordan don't have a ball, threat. Like, are you a threat? Like, are you a threat without the ball just as well as with the ball? Jordan was dangerous with or without the ball. He was dangerous on the perimeter or in the post. He could score from the paint, the mid-range, 3, free throw, and on the fast break. He could do it all. So I wouldn't even say Luka is a top 10 offensive player of all time. I would say he's probably a top 10 player with the ball in his hand. You got to narrow it down and be very specific with what you call Luka. But for the most part, everything that everybody's been calling him, he's overrated. And Michelle Beadle said it. And she said, why are we just giving him a pass for not playing defense? Why are we giving any player a pass for not playing defense? And because we have a cancer or a freaking virus inside the NBA community as a body, and we have to flush that virus out by pushing out the truth and getting right back to the basics of basketball and pushing the stats and the analytic nerds and all these people out. We got to push these people out of the sport, right? We push these people out of the sport, and then we can get back to what the realness is. And you won't get answers like he gave him when she asked, why are we giving him a pass? And he said with a straight face, because he's so good at offense. That is no excuse. You have to play defense in basketball. Absolutely have to. It's a must. All 5 guys must play defense. That's a minimal. Offensive end, you might can get away with somebody like Rodman just being a rebounder and a screen setter. Right? At least he's still helping somehow. But you cannot hide a person on defense and say, we just hope that they don't pick on you. We gotta use everybody to cover up for your lack. Cause we know you about to get cooked like a freaking like lambs or lamb chops or freaking clams.
Stuff that people talking about in Dallas, they now seeing get spotlighted more in the spotlight of LA, Tinseltown.
Nobody's surprised by the fact that Luka is not a great defensive player. Now, he put a little effort in the beginning of the season, and he fooled you. He was like letting you know, like, I'm a different dude. But we all creatures of habits, man. You know, once you settle in and you ain't got you settle in LA, like Quick said, he started back eating buffets. You can tell he picked up a couple more pounds through the year, and that's partly because he's been injured. So when you get injured, some people stay in shape, get their cardio still going, and some people just chill. And Luka on the couch smoking the Newport and drinking he probably drinking Modelo. He seemed like a Modelo type of guy.
I think people just going at him more, man. You know, when he was in Dallas, you can kind of hide it because we love him so much. And in LA, they want to win and they expect greatness, you know, out of their players. And Luka, every time I watch LA, it seems like Luka always gets stuck. He'd be on an island by himself and somebody running by him. If you notice, it's almost like the game plan is to get Luka isolated and let's attack him.
When you talk about the two organizations, you talk about LA. I think we talked about this before, and that's the media compared to Dallas. That's a huge difference. And then you talk about the fan base. You know, LA and Dallas, it's two totally different fan bases. The fan base here in Dallas, Luka could do no wrong. But the basketball purists, we saw that he was a liability on defense. You know, we've already saw that. So him being exposed, I just think now it's just on a bigger level because one, the media, and then the media of LA, and then two, just the fans in LA. The fans in LA, man, when you go to LA, they want a championship. They ain't trying to just be happy with making it to the playoffs or making it to the championship. You you hear everybody say, well, he made it to the championship, blah, 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 but they didn't win the championship. You know what I'm saying? So the fans in LA, they about winning the championship. And the only thing I would say to Luka is that, man, all you got to do is give more effort. That's all you got to do is give more effort, because I think we've all seen guys that couldn't play defense. Kyle Korver was a guy who couldn't play defense on the ball. But one thing Kyle Korver did is, for one, as a team, you're going to hide him, right? You're going to put him on the weakest person or the person that doesn't have the ball as much. But one thing Kyle Korver did is he put forth effort, and he was always in the right spot. I think he's being exposed, but I think the whole world has already seen it. But like I say, when you compare the two media markets, now they talking about it a lot more.
So that the last person that was talking was Nick Van Elst. So that's his podcast. He had two other co-hosts that spoke before him. But basically he said, you got to put the effort in, man. Just put in effort. Right. Everybody knew even in Dallas, you couldn't defend. Right. People are trying to deal with it if you put in effort. At least do that part. But he also said, the media base in LA is different than it is in Dallas. So, the expectation in LA is win. Kobe talked about that. He said that Dwight wasn't even fit for LA and how serious they are about winning. Right. And this is a guy who took defense very serious, and LA ran him out of there pretty much. Kobe and LA ran Dwight out of there. Now they got LeBron and Luca, and this ain't Kobe level effort in no shape or form or fashion. Right. They both should be getting run out of there. But out of respect for LeBron, they're not gonna run him out of there. And Luca is their future. They got to make it work. But not only is his defense sucky in the regular season, the defense is sucky in the playoffs as well. And what gets worse is they let you defend a little bit more physical in the playoffs, and Luka don't do well against that either. So now you're a liability on defense, and we get to harass you on defense with the Big Baller Coalition. All these great defenders, the Big Baller Coalition, the BBCs, when they get a hold of Luka in the playoffs, it's just ugly, dog. It get real ugly in the playoffs. Big Baller Coalition get a hold of them boys. Ain't no more good after that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's scary hours for the Lakers, and now everyone is starting to actually come around. It seems like people must be listening to Man Down Sports, man, because I've been saying this since Westbrook. I've been saying this about the triple-double. I've been saying this about people who's not defending. And every time I see it, I'm like, okay, this is just another version of the triple-double basketball. I said it when Caitlin Clark was doing it with the Fever. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I can see it. It's like, it's so clear to me. I just don't understand why everybody can't see it. But now you're starting to hear people starting to voice their opinion and talk about it a little bit more. Man. So, I think defense must be racist, dog. I mean, asking somebody to play defense, asking a superstar to play defense is racist, I guess. Yeah, it's racist, dog. Look, I guess defense discriminates, and my bad for pointing out defense, because I guess it discriminates. I guess I don't know. I guess effort is racist as well, right? Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I've been called worse by better.